Hickok 45 here. You know, it's really convenient to have a lightweight pistol with 6 or 7 rounds at your disposal at almost any time, like this. Just comes in very handy. A really light pistol, reliable and pretty effective. 380, not bad, not bad. 6+1, but you know what? It's even better if you have virtually the same firearm at your disposal, you know, almost any time, about the same weight, that has 10+1 rounds in it, right? Oh man, I just couldn't resist, could I? Yeah, but about the same weight, very close enough for government work, and have 10+1 instead of 6+1. And you know why we're here, don't we? We have, oh, I ruined my shorts. Look at that. Look at that. The sacrifices I make for you people. Wow. Okay. It'll come out in the wash probably. So yeah, we're going to talk about the LCP MAX today. The LCP MAX 380. I've heard it called about 30 different things, but it is the 10-round LCP. Okay, it says LCP MAX right on the side. Let's just call it that. But I do hear a lot of people, and I see it labeled as the 380, just as a reminder. I don't know. So most of us know, if you're familiar with the LCP, it is 380. That's the caliber. And 380, for those who don't know, I won't go into this too much. It's the same diameter as a 9mm, but it's a shorter, a little bit shorter cartridge. And usually they're about 90 grains. 95 grains on the standard American Eagle. Now on this, that's 99 grains on the HST. So it's between 90 and 100 grain ammo. So that's pretty light, and you don't have quite the energy and everything. But historically, it comes in smaller packages. Nowadays, we can find a 9mm in a pretty small package, right? But you can still, if you can get a 9 in a package this size, I don't care what decade we're in, and you're going to be able to get manufacture a 380 in a slightly smaller package, aren't you? Because we're getting better and better, the manufacturers, at doing that. So we get everybody's help. Well, if you know the LCP, there's not a dramatic difference between these two. They're set up kind of the same way. You know, the action, the trigger system feels the same to me, pretty much. Not a lot of difference. Take the mags out, and that. And the triggers are very similar. They even look alike, don't they? And they kind of are what they are. They don't have the feel of a really expensive pistol. They're lightweight, but they work. They really do. I have been fairly impressed, as you probably know and recall, if you've seen our video, I guess on this one, the LCP2 especially. For having such a large hand, I am able to get hold of this thing and really get it on target reasonably well. Now, I wouldn't want to, have to bet my life on hitting the gong maybe, but if I shot the LCP at the gong in the last year or two, I'd probably not. Maybe we'll do it today, one of them. But I mean, you can hit what you need to hit up close and dirty. And now we have basically the same gun. Instead of 6 rounds in a mag, flush mag, we have it with 10 rounds in a flush mag. Okay. And I talk in terms of the flush mags. You can have any number of rounds you want. Somebody can make a magazine that's extends that far and hold 100 rounds if they want to, right? But in terms of the flushness, there you go. Now, one reason it holds more ammo is it's longer. So even if they were the same thickness, you'd have at least one more round, in that one. It'd be a 7+1, maybe an 8+1. I don't know. But by making it a little wider as well, a little thicker, they got that staggered magazine going, that's so popular today, right? And you get 10 rounds in there. If you haven't seen the mag, unfortunately, there it is. See, so you got a staggered situation, funnels down to a single funnel, and easier to load because it's pointed. You can get it in there and everything. So a little thicker, and that's the biggest difference you notice in the firearm, and size-wise at least. Okay, and then it's a little more deluxe on top of that. The sights are better. and we'll take a look at those. Trouble I remember having with an LCP is when I got the longer mags. In fact, that might have been about a year ago. I meant to do a video on that and explore that a little further, and just have not done it. Hope I could even put my hands on those mags. But you know, they do make an extended, a longer mag. I don't know, what are they, like a 8-round or 10-round mags or something. And I was having malfunctions with 2 different ones in this firearm. And I think in the other, I've got a standard LCP. This is an LCP2. And I'm not sure what that was about. It bothered me a little bit, but I've never had a malfunction I recall with this magazine, with the standard magazine. So and that's, you know, what I carry, so I didn't worry about it. And I carry this thing sometimes. I'll say there's a time when a little lightweight 10-ounce firearm is just what the doctor ordered. Okay, and I know a lot of you feel the same way, and some others don't feel the same way. If you don't have a 10mm, you feel unarmed. You're just not macho enough, I know. But it's nice to have a firearm. And so anyway, the 2. Okay, look at the sights. Look at the big difference in the sights. All right, you've got a tritium, a big dot up there, fairly big. Okay, and then you've got a dovetail. So this will take sights for the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard. So if you've got some other sights that you'd rather put on here, if they will you know, fit a Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 380, then they will fit on this, as I understand. Okay, so if you don't like that rear side or the front side, so you have some choice there. So I don't know, my first inclination, we've had this for several days, and I've shot it off and on, is wow, it's a lot of sights. One of the attractions of this thing is it's just like a little nothing, you know, you put in your pocket, and there's no snag. It's very snag free and everything. And that's one of the attractions of it. This is more like a real pistol. You got some sights sticking up here, some edges, not too bad, but you do. Okay, so if that bothers you, and again, you got the dovetail. You can drift that rear side for windage, you know, with the front side as well. And one thing that I was very pleased about is this little holster, pocket holster for the LCP, fits the LCP MAX the same way. Okay, because your slide and the front part of the gun is the same. It's just your grip gets a little thicker right there. All right, so pops in there just the same, and no problem. So that's an Alabama holster. I don't expect they'll make a separate holster for just that gun. I don't see any reason they might. They have my permission. But so the sights are a big difference. All right, one of the biggest right there. They both, well, I don't know, this one, I forget what this one's selling for. It'll probably change now, but these retail for about $450, okay? And who knows what they will sell for once they're out there, and there's plenty of them in numbers. But there's also a 12-round mag available for this, or will be available. And one thing I like about it too is they got little cocking ears, as they call them, back here on the back, and the serrations are a little sharper. I always like that, more so than on the LCP. Let me get the mags out here so I can do that. Even without the ears, you see you got kind of a protrusion there on the very back. Not so much that, you know, it's obnoxious or anything at all, just enough to help. And then also, I don't use front serrations generally, but there's a little more bite there wherever you get a hold of them than on the LCP2. So I like that. That's an improvement. I'll have to say they both break down the same way. You pull the pin out, take the pressure off, pull the pin out, comes apart. They're the same as always. No need to do that, I guess. I need to get some Talon grips. I need to get for this. I got a piece of Talon grips on there, and it feels okay, but I do need to get some for that. I've not had a malfunction with this, and you know, again, that's not surprising, and very pleased about that. I do think I have a place for a little firearm like this. I do. It's just nice to have this option, and I will buy one of these when they're available. We can find one. That's a given. I will buy one. Okay, so I'd like to throw that out there because, you know, I'm being honest about it. I will buy one as soon as I can find one. I'll walk into a store and there's one there. It'll be mine. Okay, unless it's $1,000 or something. So let's shoot it again. Let me load it. Let me now. You know, one thing I've not done. I've not put any holler points in it. So let's put a couple. That's the wrong. Well, I know that one feeds them because I shot them. Okay, several times. let's get the right mag. Let's put them in the new one, and just make sure that it's good for defensive work. Although some people, they just feel fine with hardball and a little pistol like this, just to make sure you get the penetration. That's the main thing, because you are talking about a lighter bullet, not as much thrust, muzzle energy. Now they also, while I'm loading this, they supposedly improved the barrel ramp, as I read, the extractor, the feed ramp, and then the geometry of the barrel and the cam and some of that. So I guess they looked at some of the dimensions, and I would get, I'm looking at the wrong one. They improved this one. Well, I can see the extractor. You can see the difference, can't you? Come think of it. It's like a bigger, beefier extractor. So it's an upgrade, not just in velocity and capacity. Okay, and at least they think it is, and it probably is. The mag release is reversible. I don't know that is the case on these older ones on the LCP2, but the mag release is reversible on this too if you're left-handed. Okay, so there's probably something I'm not telling you about it. I can't think of anything. Look it up. All the specs are always easy to find on all these firearms, and the LCP is not a big mystery. Just a few improvements here. And I kind of like the improvements they made, because it's nothing that gets in the way. They didn't make the slide, like 1/4 inch thicker and all those kind of things. Yeah, we got an LCP now to hold 10 rounds, except it's 8 ounces heavier, and it won't fit in any of the holsters, and now it's as big as a Glock 19. It's always easy to do that, but they've kept the character, the spirit of the LCP. Is basically the same gun, more velocity, and a few upgrades. So I think Ruger done good at this point. So let's try this. Let's go ahead and use the pocket holster. Little guns like this, I'm probably not going to have it on my belt. That's just me. So we haven't shot the stein here yet. We haven't shot a lot of things. We may not shoot everything. Is that okay? Will y'all sleep tonight if I don't shoot everything? All right. Let's pull it out. Shoot that target. Holler points. All right, let's smoke pot with them. Let's shoot a 2-liter, another one. Wow, 380. Gets after it. Now to show you, demonstrate, we're not shooting a 9mm or a 40 caliber. I'm going to try to hit one of the arms on the tree there. It's not going to just slap it around like normally. It may not even move it much. Well. All right, well, okay, didn't knock that around, but it's not a pea shooter. It's not a 22 short or anything. So, and those were carry rounds, and it fed them. So that's always good, isn't it? It fed those rascals. We have any ballistic information? We got velocity at 1030, okay, at the muzzle, 1,030 feet per second. All right. Bullet trajectory at 1,000 yards now. So that's always important. Try the ammo that you're going to be carrying. Make sure it feeds. Why am I sweating? Oh, I know. It's about 98 degrees with humidity to match, isn't it? So I'll shoot one more time and make up some more lies about it. Oh, I know one thing I meant to tell you. On the LCP, I have a problem. Imagine that, me having a problem with the finger pinching, that sort of thing. Not on the bottom. Some of us get a finger pinch down here at the bottom of the trigger on some firearms. And I've had a lot of people write me and say, they get the same thing, so it's not just me. Part of it is my big hand and all that. But now I get pinched, so does John, right up here, where the top of the trigger. See that big gap, and it's kind of a sharp edge. When you release the trigger, you get pinched up there, okay? When you release it, some of your skin gets caught in there, and that's just always been the case with the LCP, all right? This one's the same way. Same way. Yeah, it hurts a little bit. But now, it wouldn't be a deal killer, because this is not a gun I'm going to go shoot 800 rounds with. It's a defensive pistol, all right? So, but I've discovered, in fact, I just did this recently, with mine, this is mine, so I'm able to butcher it if I want to. I took a little file, and I worked on it. You can tell it's not very neat, but it's hard to get in there and do that without messing up something. So I just worked on that, and I could do a little bit more. I took that down a little bit, just rounded that edge a little bit, and I get it a little bit, but not much at all. It's almost gone. So I could work on that just a little bit more, and that will not be an issue at all. Okay. And when I'm not advising you do any gunsmithing on your own or whatever, butcher your guns, but when I find one of these, I will do that on it too. But I'm not going to do it on this one. It goes back to Bud's and the gunner auction with the target and all that. So not a big deal, not a deal killer, because it's easy fix. Maybe Ruger will fix it at some point, right? It'd be easy for them to do a little contouring there without all the parts together, mold it that way. So anyway, I was going to shoot one more time and make y'all get out of here and get to dinner, because I mean, if we're filming at like 5:30 at night, I'm assuming you're watching 5:30 at night, right? So it's around your dinner time. I don't know, somebody told me once they watch our videos in the morning. I don't know, I believe that. So yeah, be sure you look at the description on all videos, and I might shoot this in the Sunday. The first time you see this, because I don't know when you'll see this, it probably was in a Sunday shoot around, whatever, a couple weeks ago. So some familiarity with it, and you might already own one. If you do, let us know what you think about it, because you might also, I've also figured out, you might be seeing this video 2 years from now, okay? And so let us know what you think about this firearm, okay? All right, well, you know, we haven't shot at the gong. Let's shoot at the gong at least, all right? I don't want to disappoint everybody by at least not trying. I think I might have heard it, did I? I hit it, didn't I? Yeah. What a genius. Let's try this pot right here. Oh, and I always wanted to shoot a steel bowling pin. Yeah, and a real bowling pin. Yeah, and a cowboy. Yeah, it shoots just fine. Get a hold of it, and you know, with my large hand, it could be a challenge, but these things shoot better than they ought to, even when you have a large hand. I've just always thought that, or else I would not have owned that one. I actually have, I think, 3 of these things. The first one, I got one with a, what was that, Trigger Pro, the Pro model, that red trigger, some of you remember those, and then that one, because they just work, and they're really small and they're really light. Okay, so the Max, the Ruger LCP MAX, okay, 10+1, or you can get a 12-round mag, and again, it's very little. What I told you, it was about the same, didn't I? 1/4 ounce heavier unloaded, 1/4 ounce by my scale. I think I didn't tell you that. Now loaded, I think it's 2.5 ounces heavier. Okay, 2.5 ounces heavier if it's fully loaded. The magazine's fully loaded. Well, even if there's one in the chamber, it'd be the same, wouldn't it, right? Apples to apples. But yeah, 2.5 ounces heavier once it's loaded. So, you know, that's just the ammo basically, because it's only a 1/2 ounce heavier, you know, unloaded. So not much more weight at all. I've carried them, but in fact, I carried this one all day today around the place and everything in my pocket holster. Didn't know I had it, really. And so far I like it. If you have one and you've had problems, let us know. And again, if problems develop, we'll all know, right? But so far, this one has shot just fine, and I think it's an improvement in the LCP. Yeah, that's my impression at this point. So I'm glad you came out to get my impression, whether it's worth anything or not. Life is good.
Oh yeah, that's better. This is a great gun for defense. Oh hey, didn't see you guys there. While I've got you here, I want to remind you of our friends over at Talon Grips and Ballistol. Talon Grips makes grips, can you believe it, for all different types of firearms. You can get rough texture or more of a rubberized texture. It just sticks right on there. You know, really affordable, really cool option to improve the grip for your handguns or rifles. So please check them out at talongungrips.com. You'll be glad you did. And also Ballistol. Dad has been using Ballistol for many years. It's a cleaner and a lubricant, and it's non-toxic. It works really great, and we're happy to have them on board since it's been a part of our shooting endeavor for a very long time. So go to ballistall.com, talongungrips.com, and also while you're out there, I'm juggling all these things here. Also, while you're on the internet, please do check out our other social media like Hickok 45 on Facebook. There's also Hickok 45 on Twitter, The Real Hickok 45 on Instagram. There's a John_Hickok 45 on Instagram where I do some things. There's hickok45.com. You can find us also on Gunstreamer. So check out all that stuff and then watch more videos.